Linnea Edwards. Okay. We have you representing yourself against the bill.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify. My name is Linnea Edwards, and I am a constituent of Representative Donna Jukes, and I'm here to testify against HB 60 because I do not believe that reducing the availability to abortion is a real testament to valuing life. I'd like to tell you a story about my best friend in high school, Ida Koskela. I was born in Houston. I've lived for most of my life in Texas, but for several years I lived in Norway. Ida started working at the age of 12 to support her family. At the age of 23, Ida found herself pregnant from a one-night stand. She worked as a bartender and she had no college degree. Suddenly she found herself in this terrifying position. Honestly, not one that most of us here today can relate to. What is it like to have the fate of an unborn being in your hands? What is it like having to make that choice with an unsupportive family and a dead-end job? Ida looked at her options. As a Norwegian, Ida was entitled to free higher education. As an employed wage earner, she was entitled to 10 months of paid maternity leave. As a single parent, Ida could take advantage of numerous stipends, including stipends to cover school books and baby supplies and daycare. These very basic things are absolutely pivotal to why my best friend Ida could afford to choose life, and she did. Norway also has free health care, again drastically reducing the financial burden of raising a child alone. And you know what, within the free health care of Norway, there's also access to free abortion. Now, what we all need to hear, yes, Norway's rate of abortion is much lower than that of the United States. How is it possible that a country that provides free abortion available countrywide without discrimination has a lower abortion rate than a country that already makes it such a difficult and painful process? Norway, simply put, puts its money where its mouth is. Norway supported Ida financially through those difficult first years of parenthood and higher education. Where is Ida now? She has two beautiful children. She is happily married to the father of her second child. Together they own an apartment in Northwest Oslo. Ida not only has a bachelor's, but is working on her master's in applied behavior analysis and is a social educator helping to do research within the country's state education department. She makes more money and she pays more taxes. She's an asset to her society and she gives back to a country that gave so much to her. Life threw her an unexpected turn and she was able to rise to the occasion thanks to her country and the very tangible material value it places on supporting life. How can we put our money where we want it?
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you for your time.
Karen Berkner. Karen Berkner here representing herself to testify against the bill.
Hi, I'm Karen Berkner. I'm testifying against the bill. My representative is Representative Donna Jukes. My father was a physician pre-Roe. He died before Roe was decided, so I'm not going to speak for how he would have felt about the bill. But when I was in college, I was wrestling with the moral aspects of abortion and whether it was right or wrong or how I felt about it. So I prayed about it, and the next day I wandered down to Houston just with a friend and bumped into one of my father's partners. My dad practiced in Maryland, and so his partner, he was down for a convention. So he invited me to lunch with some other doctors, and I asked them how they felt about abortion, and they told me the stories about the days when they were young medical students and they had wards full of women who were dying or permanently damaged from self-induced abortions. So fast forward a lot of years, I had planned pregnancies thanks to Planned Parenthood, and I have two daughters I'm very proud of. One graduated with a 4.0 average from the University of Texas, and the other graduated with a magna cum laude from Texas A&M with 2 degrees. A young woman earlier was joking about women would be leaving the state over this kind of bill. My oldest daughter has already left the state. She says she won't live in the South again because they're too hard on women, which is kind of a waste. You guys, helped educate her. She's very bright. She's very competent. And my younger daughter is a child of the South and loves the South, but she is also thinking about leaving. Between them, they have a number of friends. They're both very good students who are in medical school, in vet school, in dental school, and they're also, some of them, discussing leaving after they get their degrees. So there's some risk of female brain drain, I guess. That part is actually real. But more so, I'm around all these young, intelligent women who are conscientious and hardworking, and people don't trust them to make their own decisions about their own bodies. And I think that's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen Chilero. Is Catherine here? Okay, for now, Catherine, we'll put you as against Patrick Collins. Is Patrick Collins in? Okay, for right now, Patrick will list you as against. Lane Forsander. Is Lane Forsander? Okay. Come on down, Lane. You would say your name, your position.
My name is Lane Bailey Forsander, and I'm here to represent myself in total opposition of House Bill 60. I was born in Longview, Texas, and raised in Hallsville. At the age of 19, I met my future husband my second semester at a private Christian university. I was raped and abused on a daily basis for 3 years by my unfaithful husband. Planned Parenthood was the only resource available to me. Without their services, I would have endured the following: sexually transmitted diseases, unplanned pregnancies, and perpetual yeast infections. Feel free to Google that if you don't know what it is. It's no walk in the park. At the time, I did not know that what was happening to me was rape. Sexual education in the state of Texas is borderline non-existent. When people know better, they do better, and I was clueless. If this ridiculous bill passes, young women everywhere across the state will lose access to birth control, STD screenings, breast examinations, and pap smears. I was a victim. Planned Parenthood and a check written by my mom for $600 for my divorce saved my life. If you wish to eliminate abortions in the state of Texas, you might want to consider a more realistic approach to sexual education in the state of Texas.
Thank you, Lane. Elizabeth Fisher.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Could you say your name and your position on the bill?
Yes, sir. My name is Elizabeth Fisher, and I am vehemently opposed to the 60, SB 60, HB 60. HB 60.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Take your time.
I'm tempted to apologize for my motion because it's a little high right now, but I'm going to refrain. I am here on behalf of myself and my 2 teenage daughters and all my friends who cannot be here today to express my opposition to this bill. My daughters are 15 and 17 and 2 of the brightest individuals that I know. Shortly they will be off to college, hopefully. And in this state, I do not trust that they will have access to the reproductive care should they need it. We are very fortunate to provide them with such care if they come to us, but as we all know, as a young woman, it's not always the easiest thing to go to a parent. As the speaker previously said, if eliminating abortion or minimizing it is the goal, we have to look at sexual education. The rights of a fetus, I digress for a second, the rights of a fetus do not trump mine as a mother. I am concerned that if anything were to happen, that my state doesn't value me as much as any potential life that could come from any situation. I have 2 young sons, and my fear with this kind of legislation and other legislation that's being passed all over the country is that I'm not valued and that my life and my relationship with my family is less important than a non-viable entity. I'm a native Texan. I was born in Austin. My husband's a native Texan. We're considering leaving. But then I see all these women behind me and out in the overflow room, and we have to be here. We have to be here because otherwise things like this are going to pass, and that's repulsive. So for now, you're stuck with me and my kids, who, God willing, will be instilled the same values I was. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next up, we have Ayla Ardner representing herself. Ayla, if you could give us your name, who you're representing, and your position.
Thank you for allowing me to testify. My name is Ayla Ardner, and I am here to testify against HB 60, and I am representing myself. I volunteer for the Lilith Fund, and I have spoken with so many women who need help. I know many family members and friends who have had abortions and do not regret it. In fact, they have had a much better life because of it. Someone told me once that there are many ways to kill a child, and an abortion may be the least cruel of them. Having a baby you do not want, cannot love, and care for seems like a crueler fate. If you want to protect women, we need safe, respectful environments we can go to make the decisions we need the freedom to make. Please do not support HB 60. Thank you.
Thank you, Ava. Next, we have Nancy Flores. We will show Nancy Flores representing herself against the bill. We will show her not testifying. Next, we have Chris Franzen. Oh, Chris, if you would give us your name, who you're representing, and your position.
Certainly. My name is Chris Franzen. I'm representing myself against the bill HB 60. I am a reluctant constituent of Paul Workman.
I'd like to have the audience please just refrain any comments like that.
I apologize.
They're not warranted.
Joking manner.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've sat here and listened, and I've been very respectful all night. And Mr. Workman's a colleague of ours that works very hard, and I'd appreciate the same respect that I'm showing to you all tonight of my colleagues, please.
Well, I ran against Mr. Workman.
Okay.
That's why I'm a reluctant constituent.
Okay, but fair enough. But I would appreciate that. That's all I'm asking.
All right, that's fine. I'm here against HB 60, and I'm here because I am a father of 4 daughters, and I'm a grandfather of 3 young girls. And I cannot believe that my granddaughters will not have the same rights as my daughters had. For most of my life, I was a conservative Republican, but I'm no longer because of bills like this. Buckley and Goldwater stood for keeping government out of our personal lives. You, with this bill, this legislature, will put government into our daughters' and granddaughters' lives. After we fought so long and hard to remove that. Make no mistake, this is not about women's health. We've heard all the facts and figures. If it was really about women's health, we'd have the Medicaid dollars that were promised to us by the federal government. We'd have the money for Planned Parenthood. If it was really about women's health, we would have all of that, but we don't. Just like rape is not about sex, this bill is not about women's health. It's about power. It's about power, political power, clear and simple. This is not about health. It is about political power. Thank you.